Here are today's top happenings and why they matter. Tanzania's leading opposition party, CHADEMA, says it will launch an international petition to block the country's upcoming October general elections after being disqualified from participating. The move follows escalating political tensions and the party's refusal to sign the official electoral code of conduct, citing an unfair playing field. Opposition party leader Tundu Lissu has been charged with treason following his arrest at a public rally in which he called for electoral reforms ahead of elections. So what does CHADEMA want? Under its no reforms, no election agenda, the party is demanding an independent electoral commission, revival of the stalled constitution writing process, legal changes to allow independent presidential candidates, judicial review of presidential election results, and a requirement that presidential winners secure at least 51% of the votes. Here is DW's Naomi Jaseda on why this story matters.
The opposition targets to collect over 15 million signatures through rigorous grassroots petition to show the world that elections without reform are elections without legitimacy. Meanwhile, President Samia has pledged to ensure peaceful, fair elections, but also warned her government will not tolerate disruptions to the electoral calendar. But here is the bigger picture, with the general elections just months away. Tanzania is at a crossroads. Rights groups say recent arrests, abductions, and political violence mirror past authoritarian tactics.
It sends a bad signal that the democratization process and the independence of the parties and all those rules and regulations around that line are not proper, and is sending this message to the international community, to the world at large, that we don't adhere to political processes, we don't adhere to democratic processes.
Thanks, Naomi, for that. And sticking to election-related matters, supporters of Gabon's president-elect, Brice Oligui Nguema, are still celebrating in the capital, Libreville, after a sweeping election victory. More than 70% of Gabon's 920,000 registered voters turned out on Saturday in a peaceful vote, hailed by international observers as largely incident-free. Congratulatory messages are still streaming in following the transitional election. French President Emmanuel Macron personally congratulated Oligui in a phone call, a diplomatic boost to a leader trying to distance himself from his military past. But the challenges ahead are steep, from crumbling infrastructure and massive debt to rampant poverty in an oil-rich nation that critics say is still haunted by the Bongo-era corruption, which Oligui once served.
Soyons des bâtisseurs de paix et de justice. Que Dieu vous bénisse. Que Dieu bénisse le Gabon. Je vous remercie pour cette belle victoire.
Elsewhere, Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces says it has taken control of a famine-hit camp in the western Darfur region after 2 days of heavy shelling and gunfire. So why is this development significant? The capture of Zamzam camp marks a dangerous turning point in Sudan's brutal civil war. The fall of Zamzam comes as the RSF closes in on El Fasher, the last major city in Darfur not under its control. If it falls, Darfur could be fully taken by the paramilitaries, accelerating ethnic violence and mass displacement on a catastrophic scale. Algeria has asked 12 French officials to leave in 48 hours, adding that this was linked to the arrest of 3 Algerian nationals in France. On Friday, French prosecutors indicted 3 Algerians, including a consular official, on suspicion of involvement in the April 2024 abduction of an Algerian influencer, Amir Boukours, in a Paris suburb. And that's all we had time for today. Are you interested in constructive analysis of news happenings? Just hit the subscribe button, like, and comment on the stories we highlight. DW Africa is our channel's name, and my name is Lucy Riley.